I'm gonna be your client today for 10-15 minutes.
Thank you very much for having me again and offering me an opportunity actually to show how inner child work can be applied at the different workplace scenarios, because it's exactly what you said. Many of us think that inner child work belongs to therapy only, but it's not the case. It's such a powerful tool that we can use at the workplace, the way we do business, the way we build relationship, actually. So I'm very excited to introduce a short but powerful practical exercise where everyone can begin to connect with their inner child and actually harness the power of working with parts, because we are not a mono mind. There are so many different parts inside of us. Sometimes we call it inner team, and the inner child is very, very integral part of that, because we all had childhood experiences to in some time of life. I am sure you can remember different scenarios where you maybe had to make a decision under pressure. Maybe there was certain stressful situations. Normally, it can be when we need to say no, but we can be afraid to disappoint others. Maybe there is an important decision to make, but we are afraid to do it in the wrong way. Maybe it's about receiving some feedback, and then we suddenly 10 years old and we try to prove the worth. So many workplace and business scenarios can bring us to the state of autopilot. And typically it's where we need to do something under pressure. And why inner child work here comes into play? Because when we operate on the autopilot, we tend to fall back into the patterns that take its root in the childhood. And these parts get activated, and they then create an emotional inner landscape that's really hard to make a decision there. So there we lack cognitive capacity, we lack clarity, because we tend to feel this big emotion and sometimes we don't understand where it comes from. So I want to invite you to do an exercise with me that can help you not to push away the emotional parts that get activated, because we need to remember they are part of your team. But this exercise can help you to start building relationship with these parts, so then you can come back to your role of the inner leader, from which you can make more balanced, clear decision. So the exercise that I would like to introduce to you today, it's called 3 A's. It's very simple, but very effective and profound at the same time. So what 3 A's stand for? A, acknowledge. A, allow. A, act. And now I want to invite you to bring your mind to some past experience that was maybe a little bit difficult, but not overwhelmingly difficult. Maybe you want to close your eyes or lower the gaze so you can actually immerse in that experience. So you can bring your attention inward and just take a moment to bring to mind the recent situation where that felt emotionally charged. Maybe you were a bit stressed or doubting your decision. And now I would like you to gently ask yourself, what part of me was present at that moment? What part of me was afraid? What part of me maybe wanted to be perfect? And without needing to fix or change anything, let's just jump in our first A, acknowledging. Let's acknowledge that part exists. It's not you, but it's a part of you. And you might want to say inside of you to that part, I see you, you exist. I acknowledge you are part of my inner team. And most probably this part is trying to help, maybe in a way that once kept you safe. And now, as a next step, let's bring your attention to the emotional experience of that part. Maybe you feel it somewhere in your body. Maybe it's a tight chest. Maybe it's a tension. And let's just be with that physical sensation without pushing it away. This is where the second A comes into play. We allow that experience to be. We give it space. We don't have to agree with it, or we don't have to act on it, but we let it exist. And you might want to say inside of you, it's okay that you are here. I allow you to be as you are. And now we move to our third A. I would like you to imagine that you have the figure of inner leader inside of you, that calm, wise, grounded part that is not reactive. Yeah, that knows exactly what to do. It feels spacious, it feels calm. And from that part of you, you can ask what my inner leader would say to the part that gets emotionally activated. And what action would me as a leader take in that situation? And we are asking it not from the emotionally reactive part, but we are actually asking it from the more grounded place inside of us. And I'm sure you will hear an answer there that you can share with me in a moment. Sometimes the action, the answer that you receive can be external. Maybe it's about setting the boundary or replying to the email or make a bold decision. But at the same time, it can be internal. How can I comfort the emotionally activated part of me that probably have the experiences that are rooted in childhood? Yeah. And that's how we go through three A's in this sequence that I just introduced you to. Acknowledge that what we feel exists, allow it to be, every part of our inner team welcome. And then from the right place inside, we asking, how can I help that part? And how can I help this situation? How was it for you? How do you feel?
Wow. It feels like very liberating.
Yeah.
It feels like I got it all out. It felt like a sort of an issue before that I was able to set free in a way. Also, it felt very empowering because I sort of let my leader, my inner leader talk.
Yeah.
Right? It felt almost like, okay, that inner leader had something to say, but I never perhaps gave it the opportunity to. And now I was acknowledging him for the first time, right? That he had a
We gave her space, that part, your inner leader, it's always there, it exists, but sometimes it overshadows, it is overshadowed by the emotionally charged parts. So we often lose the connection to it. In order to reconnect with the figure of inner leader, we need to take care of the other parts of us that probably run on autopilot or fall back into the familiar pattern. This is how we already automatically become a leader to our own inner team. And it's not just an emotional regulation technique. It's a very strategic tool to bring back yourself into the state where you are able to make a very clear, confident decision, not to push away the parts of you who are emotionally reacting, but actually inviting them back to the table and comforting them, calming them. I found it so simple and profound at the same time. Through changing the relationship inside of us, we change the relationship that we built with the people who we collaborate, do the work together, lead, and so on.
Absolutely. I find that the quality of our output has got a lot to do with our internal state of being.
So much.
And in a ballroom, in a meeting, in whatever, in an input that we're giving, if we're coming from the right place, the right state of being, which should actually just be one of empowerment, not one that is totally like issue free or problems free, but it is always in control, right? And by doing this exercise, I feel that I was in control. First of all, I've released it. So now it's like no longer a challenge, or no longer like, a mark on, in a Kanban. But now I've got like the tool to apply it to any other situation, right? To
Absolutely. And it can be applied in a real life scenario. It's good to try it outside the trigger, so you actually get a sense of what it is and you go through the sequence. But then once you are caught up in any triggered situation, three A's, so easy to remember: acknowledge, allow, act. Okay, what am I feeling? I am reacting. Maybe I get defensive. Okay, I allow it to be. No one has to know around what you are doing inside, but you are just taking a pause. I allowing myself to feel it. Okay, then how can I tap into my inner leader? And what response I will generate from that. I practice it all the time, again, very imperfectly. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I do not, but it's proven that it can be applied in a real life scenarios, and it's indeed liberating.
Wow, that was powerful, Anna. I wish that everyone, would have at some point in their lives some experience with the inner child work, and at least they would find out more about it. Just look out for information like videos on YouTube such as this, and get to do the work, because I believe that this is a sort of thing that we just literally scratch on the surface, but there's a lot of more potential for it, and we need to take the work and like raise the awareness as to what it can actually help us achieve, right? It's still very much of a new thing to many people. So
thank you for creating space for that. And whoever will listen to our podcast, I would love to know, how did you find the tool when you applied it? Does it make sense to you? How did it make you feel? I would love to hear some feedback about it.